We all know that satisfying animation loops are a fun thing to make in Blender. I've made quite a few, but I think this one is going to be one of my favorites. I absolutely love it because it is so simplistic, but yet it just is so satisfying. So I'm going to show you step by step how to make this animation. And what you're seeing here is my original, and it's the exact same thing I'm going to show you how to make today. The only difference is I'm going to more just kind of go over the materials. I'm not going to go into details on the materials because I feel like once you have the model in the animation, you can light it up and do it however you want. And I've even added in a little extra plant asset, but like I'm going to show you step by step how to make this animation, how to do the modeling and all that. So don't worry. And if you do want the final blend file, you can go to the description below to see my Patreon where I'm going to have that blend file. And also, for those of you who don't know, I also do actually have a Instagram account. So if you want to go into the description and follow me, you can check out some of my work. Like for example, I just recently did a YouTube exclusive and a Patreon tutorial on Patreon on how to do a differential growth simulation from scratch in Blender. So that's kind of the stuff you would get on the Patreon and as a member on the join on YouTube. So I think that's enough extra stuff. Let's get into this tutorial and I hope you guys enjoy. Let's jump into a new scene in Blender, select all of the default objects and press delete. And then we're going to go Shift A, we're going to go to our mesh options. Let's go add in a circle. And before we click on anything, let's just go here to the add circle. Let's just come here to the vertices and let's make that 64. So we're essentially doubling the 32 over there. Let's close this. And now we want to go into edit mode. And with all of this active, we're just going to go RX90 and hit enter. So RX90. So it's rotated 90 degrees on the X. Then we're going to go E to extrude and S, extrude it in a little bit. And then with all of these active, these verts, you're going to go Control F or Command F, and you can go grid fill. And let's come here to the grid fill and let's just go to the offset and rotate it just until these are straight. So you can see we have a running at 90 degrees here. Straight line and a straight line here in the middle. So there's no twists. Then we're going to tab out. And now we're going to create a cutter object to cut these kind of like sleeves in the wheel. So we're going to go Shift A. Let's go to our mesh options. Let's add in a cylinder. And we're going to go to the vertices as well. Let's go with 60 this time. And let's just go R. In fact, let's go into edit mode. So in edit mode, we're going to go RX90, hit enter. And let's just go into wireframe and just select half of this. So going down to the red line here, which is the x-axis, we're going to go E to extrude and Z and just extrude it up on the Z, make it nice and high. Something like that. We're going to tab back out. So we're going to go S.22 and hit enter. So S.22. So essentially just S.22. I don't know why I'm saying 22, right? And with that done, we're going to go to your modifiers. You're going to go add modifier, search and get a mirror like so. And let's tab into edit mode, press A to select everything, go G, X, and just move it over like so to about here. Then we're going to go G, Z, and just move it down a little bit like this, going in about this much. Okay, then we're going to tab back out and we're going to go enable the Z as well. And we're going to come to the drop down and apply. Then we're going to tab into edit mode and we're just going to select a vertex on the top, go Control L and go X and delete. And then here in the bottom left in the front, we're just going to select these verts, Control L and go X and delete those verts. So we only have this one here and this one here. And now what we can do is we can grab this disk, we can go to our add modifiers, search, and let's get a Boolean. So Boolean, click on the eyedropper and then select these objects. And we're also going to just grab these guys here and we're going to press M, new collection, let's just call it cutter. Go OK, and let's just come here to the cutter layer and turn it off for the viewport and the render. So what we see is this. We're then going to select it, we're going to go add modifier, search and get a solidify. And let's just go and give it a little bit of thickness into the negatives. So we're going to go something like this. And then we're going to go add, search, and let's get a bevel by typing in bevel. And let's just come here and let's just leave it as the default settings. But we're also just going to go add and we're going to go search and get a sub and get a subdivision surface. And maybe under the bevel, just bump the segment count up another level. So now we have this beautiful looking object that otherwise would have been hard to model without these modifiers. Okay, so here's where we need to do something, right? We need to, before we animate this, we're going to actually come now and the reason we actually kept that cutter object, if you wanted to perform this operation again, you have those there if you wanted them. But I'm going to go ahead and grab this wheel, and I'm going to just come to the boolean and apply. And I'm also just going to come here to the bevel, and I'm going to come to the subdivision and turn both of those off for the viewport. But for the solidify, we'll leave it on like that. Okay. So now let's quickly tab into edit mode, press A to select everything, and in our front orthographic view, we're just going to go R -90 and hit enter. So R -90 in the front orthographic, just to rotate it into this position. And now we're going to go into our object mode, and let's just come here to our timeline. We're going to make the end value here 80 frames. And let's come to frame 1. And with frame 1, with this circle selected, we're going to press I and insert a rotation keyframe. Then we're going to come to frame 80, and then let's press N to bring up our properties. Let's go to the item, and under the, I think we're going to go to Y. We're going to go and type in here on frame 80. We're going to type in -360, and we're going to press I to insert a keyframe. So now if we go to frame 1 and hit the spacebar, it's rotating 360 degrees like we want, but it has a Bezier curve. So we're going to select these over here, these two keyframes. We're going to press T, and we're going to change the interpolation to linear, which just means it's one consistent rotation. We don't have an easing in curve and an easing out curve. Okay, so now we just have a nice looking loopable rotation that you're not even going to notice is looping. Okay, so let's go to frame 1, and let's go Shift A. Let's add in a UV sphere. We're going to go S and scale that guy down. And we're going to bring it over here and just place it in one of these, just so it's just fitting in there, something like this. Okay. Then we're going to go Control A and apply to scale. Then we're going to go Shift A. We're going to go to our mesh options, add in a cylinder, add cylinder settings here. Let's just make that 12. And then with this selected, we're going to tab into edit mode and press A to select all of this. Then go S, Shift, and Z. So S, Shift, and Z, and it's going to scale on all of the axes except the Z. We're going to make it nice and skinny, about this much, like that. And then you see the little origin point here in the middle, that little orange dot. We're just going to, with this selected, go G, Z, and move it down till the top is sitting where that origin point is, which, by the way, should also be where our floor is, just so happens to be. Then we're going to tab back out. So now if we actually, in object mode, double tap R to rotate this, you can see it rotates around that origin point. So now let's just go G and move it up. And let's just place it here just so it's sitting at the very top of our sphere here. We're going to just move it in a little bit, like so. And let's go to our right view. In a right view, it's matching up to the middle of the sphere. And let's select this sphere, holding and Shift select the rod and go Control J. And now we've joined it as one object. Let's right click and go Shade Auto Smooth. And now what we want to do, just want to go to our right view, and let's just go G, Y, and move it in just a little bit so it's in the middle of our wheel here, as you can see. And what we want to do is we actually want to go to frame 1. And on frame 1, we want to enable auto keying. And on frame 1, we're going to go R. And by the way, I'm in my right orthographic view, so that's really important. So in the right orthographic view, we're going to go R and rotate it. And let's rotate it so it's sitting at about 30 degrees or so. In fact, you can see over here, it says -32. So let's just type in here -32 on the X, and let's key that in. And let's grab this keyframe, go Shift D to duplicate and drag it to frame 80. Okay, so it's going to start and end there. And let's just come to frame 40, which is in the middle. And in frame 40, we're just going to come here and type in 32 and hit enter. It's going to automatically add in a keyframe because we have auto keying enabled. So now let's turn off auto keying and let's go to frame 1. Let's hit the space bar. And okay, so the only thing that's obviously messed up here is it's swinging like it should be. But all we have to do is maybe just come to frame 20. So just so about where this wheel is kind of at 90 degrees. Let's just grab this, pressing G, and let's just move it and place it right in here like that. Okay, it's just so it's sitting in there. And now if we go, like I said, it looks like it's keyframed the location data. So let's just actually, with this active, just right click over the location data and let's just go clear keyframes. So all we have is the rotational data. So I'm going to come to frame 21. just gonna go G and bring this guy over here, just so it's sitting in there. And now, okay, if we go to frame 1 and we hit the spacebar, look at that, okay? Now we have a working animation. And if you scroll through it slowly, like this, it comes very close, but there shouldn't be any real interaction. If there is a little bit, just grab it and maybe just move it up just a little bit, maybe just in slightly. There we go. So, okay, now it's just perfectly going through there without any intersection, like that. Okay, you can also grab this wheel and right click and go Shade Auto Smooth. And now we have the hardest part done. From here, it's a matter of adding in a little scene. So let's go into our front view. Shift A, let's add in a cube, and tabbing into edit mode, let's just go SX, flatten it a bit. GX, move it over till it's a little bit off to the side of the ball here. And we'll grab this face, extrude it out, or just move it out a bit. We'll grab this top one, move that up a bit. And this bottom one, we'll take it down about this much. And then in our right view, A to select everything, S, Y, and flatten it just a bit. And then go G, Y, and just move it behind the wheel here. Let's go to our edge select this edge over here and go Control B to create a bevel. And then roll the middle mouse button a few times just to round it out. In fact, I might do that again and not make it quite as round, something like that. And then just go to your face select option, Shift Alt, left click on this face to loop select this face. And then holding and Shift, just deselect the bottom face. Then go Shift D to duplicate, right click, E to extrude, right click, and then go Alt S and scale out like so along the normals. And now we're going to tab back out. We're going to go to add modifier, search, and get a bevel. And let's bring that amount down and just increase the segment count. And what I did with my original, I kind of scaled this guy out a little bit on the Y, but it's not absolutely necessary. You can kind of approach this however you want, but I think this object looks kind of really cool, just as like a little holding platform. And you can also go Shift A and just add in a cylinder. I'm going to take it back to 32. RX90, hit enter, and just S to scale that down. And then in the right view, we're just going to move that in. And then you can turn this into a little, you can style this however you want, but I just like extruded it a few times, made like a little button coming out, and I beveled it. And then I just gave it an auto smooth, and it's just, you know, you can grab this and holding in Shift, select your wheel, and then go Control P, and just go and link it by keeping the transform. So now that'll also rotate along. And it just makes it look like there's something holding it. Okay, now let's go Shift A, just add in another cube, we'll move it down. Tab into edit mode, let's just flatten it a little bit. Might just move it up and then in edit mode flatten it. Just making a little bed for it to kind of sit in. And then with this one here, you can you kind of maybe inset it a little bit, extrude it down, make like a little bed. It's all sorts of things you can do. And then kind of give it a bevel modifier, like we did with the other objects. Increase the segment count, shade smooth, something really simple like this. And then let's go Shift A, add in a plane. Let's move it all down. S to scale it nice and big, something like that. And then we're going to go ahead and come in here, Shift A, let's add in a camera. And I'm going to move my camera up to about here. Going to the camera view. Let's go to our output and let's make it 1080 by 1080. And under our camera settings, let's make the type an orthographic. And then you just got to use the orthographic here just to zoom in a little bit. So it might be a different value for you depending on how you have things set up. And then you can rotate your camera however you want, positioning it how you like. And if you have to, you can always just scale the floor till you can't see through to the environment or the outside here. Just so all you see is the floor here. And that's kind of easy to achieve with the orthographic camera. So there we have it. So now we have a looping animation here. And by the way, make sure to save as you're working. Now with my original, I'll quickly show you guys. So my original, I added in this little cylinder here that I simply extruded in. And I added in this pot plant asset that I had. And I also just scattered some plants with the biome reader, which is free by the way. I have a video of that somewhere on my channel. But you can style it however you want, right? This is just a very simple thing that I added as an extra. But it's pretty much the exact same thing you see here. So now what you can do is you can go ahead to your render engine, make it cycles. Let's make it something like 55 on the max samples. Then let's go Shift A and add in an aerial light and have it coming off from the side. And let's give it a strength of like maybe 450. And let's see what that looks like in our camera view. Might move it back a bit. Yeah, that's good. And then you can just go and duplicate that and rotate it. Maybe have one coming off from the side a little bit. I usually prefer to have at least 3 lights shining on here, like a simple 3-point lighting system. But there's a lot of different approaches you can take with lighting. But once you have something that you like, it's very simply a matter of just grabbing the different objects, going to your materials tab, and then giving them a material. Now I already have some materials that I'm going to append in, but you can add whatever you want. So for example, I have some PBR materials, and this is one called plywood. And if you go to polyhaven.com on the internet, you can find all these sort of free textures. But I'm just going to append one in that I have. And I'm going to add that to the wheel, but I'm sure you guys can find all sorts of free textures out there. There's tons of tutorials on like wood shaders and adding materials. I'm not going to focus too much in detail, but I'm going to add a plywood to that. And already you can see that's looking really cool. And another cool thing, because this has a solidify modifier, if you add a secondary material, so let's just call this maybe metal, you can go ahead and you can go over to your modifiers. You can go to the solidify, come here to the materials, and then under the rim, increase it by a value of 1. And now you're going to see that secondary material displayed. And I'm just going to give this maybe like a greenish kind of color, bring down the roughness a bit. Then I'll grab this guy over here, give it that sort of same metal material. And maybe grab the inside bit here and make another material, assign that, and kind of make that sort of like a bit of a hot pink, kind of orange. Yeah, I think that kind of color scheme goes really well. And you can do the same thing to the rest of your objects. And then just grab the pendulum and maybe give it the same material as the outside components here, like the green metal, something like that. And then grab your floor and you can maybe give that a bit of a green tinge, like that. Or maybe slightly bluish. And already that's looking really good. So let's go ahead and just go render and give this a quick test render. And there we have it. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this. And you know, go ahead now and render it out as a final video. If you want to know how to do that, just go to your output, click on the file here, select somewhere on your computer, and then just change the format to FFmpeg video. Simply go to encoding and change it to an MP4. And then you can go render, and it'll render that animation to your selected file. In this case, it's going to be my desktop. But here you can see that is my original. Same thing I just showed you how to do. I only added in some plants. So I'll see you guys next time, and this will be on my Patreon if you want to download the blend file in the description below.